Hey y'all, I am down here getting ready to make salsa, and I knew y'all want to be in here with me. When I say down here, I mean in the canning kitchen. I have an abundance of tomatoes, as y'all see. I have about 50, okay? So we're gonna make salsa, and this is the time of year that you end up with abundance, either of somebody you know, a neighbor, a family member, or even your farmers markets will have lots and lots of tomatoes this time of year. So it's time to start putting some up for the winter, right? As you see, and Reno, I want you to see, I am using your purple knife. Thank you so much for sending this to me. Reno, the rookie chef. If y'all haven't checked him out, would y'all please go check him out? He's so good to me. And I just want y'all to just check him out and subscribe to him. He's very uplifting. He's fun to watch. Y'all see what I'm doing? I'm just getting that core out of these tomatoes. And if y'all notice, I've got this big stock pot over there. I've got water in it heating. I'm going to get it to a nice simmering boil. And what we're going to do is blanch these tomatoes once I get them cored. We're just going to blanch them for about a minute. And what that'll help us be able to do is really peel that skin off like in a flash. Y'all, I want to show you one last time. I didn't show you up close, but I'm taking this purple knife that Reno sent me, and I'm just sticking the tip end in there, right there at the stem area where the stem was, and I'm just going in a circle like that, just twisting my tomato, and then it scoops right out like that for us. So now we are ready to move over here to the stove. Our water is boiling really nicely, so I'm just going to start dropping them in here. As many as I can possibly get in there for about a minute, okay? And that'll crinkle up that skin, that tomato skin, for us to get off really, really easily. All right, that ought to do. I'll see y'all in a minute. I checked one. I want you to see how easily it's peeling off of here. Can y'all see that? I just pull that right off. Put that back in my garbage bowl over here. Right off. And when I check one like that, then I know they're all pretty well going to be ready, okay? So I'm just going to take them up, and I'm using this wire strainer. It's easy to get them all up at one time, or most of them, you know, better than one at a time, right? Just like this. And now these need to cool just a tad bit before you start using your fingers. The more you do it, the tougher your fingers get. But what'll happen is, while these are cooling just a minute or a second, I can put some more in here, right? Yeah. Y'all, this sink that y'all are on, I'm going to show you a bit of it, was John's grandmother's sink, and it was what I used when I first started dating John and would go over there. Of course, I was always the one in the kitchen. Can I help? And can I wash dishes? And I was that person. Anyway, y'all see this thing? Woo! This is hot, hot, hot. Let me move it down just a little bit. I want y'all to see this beautiful washboard over here. It's on both sides. Y'all are on the other washboard. Isn't that pretty? And I remember I felt like a step back in time when I went to John's grandparents because of things like that, and I loved it. And I don't know, I felt like I was home when I was there, you know. It was just fantastic feeling. But anyway, I love this, and when John's mama and daddy moved out of it and got them a home, and of course John and I were already married, there sat that sink, and I was like, does anybody want that sink? Of course everybody said no. So I said, oh, I would love to have it. I've got to start getting these peeled like this, because these are going to be ready, right? Now I've got a system going. So I'm going to keep at this. And when I get these all peeled, I'll get back on here with y'all. Another little cheater thing I'll do is I will run these under cold water like this, and this helps me be able to peel them really easily and not just have my fingertips on fire. I'm going to begin to put these tomatoes in here because I'm going to stew these down. And I want to tell you, these already smell like stewed tomatoes, just heating them up, blanching them like that. Oh my goodness, they already smell wonderful. And I'm also having to use my big canner pot, okay, because you see that's a lot of tomatoes. They won't fit like in this little pot, stock pot we use. So I'll probably have to put my jars in here and my salsa in here. But that's just how that goes. We make it work. So I'm just going to start doing this, and I'm going to pulse this. And you can do your salsa as chunky or as smooth as you want, okay? It's totally up to you. I kind of like mine a little chunky. I don't like it to be just totally smooth, you know. And then I pour it directly right in here into my big stock pot. Like I say, mine's a bit on the chunky side, but you can make it as smooth as you want to here. And then I'm going to add my onions while they're stewing. And I also make, guys, I also do a green salsa. I haven't made that for a long time with y'all, but it has a whole different process. I bake that in the oven, and then I blend it or mix it or process it or whatever. So I will try to link that video so in case y'all want a really tasty green salsa as well, okay? I'm going to link that video. I do mean in the description box, or I'm going to link it on YouTube because like Facebook doesn't offer anything like that. So I want to say that so you won't be watching somewhere else other than YouTube and say, what is she talking about? So if you're on YouTube, yes, I'm going to link that green salsa video. Yes, I am. Y'all, I'll put y'all right over this so y'all can see the cooking action and see how beautiful this is already. And yes, this is like crushed tomatoes you can put in soups and all sorts of things, chilies and spaghettis. I have chopped one large Vidalia onion, and if you don't have Vidalia onions, you could use a yellow Spanish onion or a white onion. I've used red onion, or you know, we call that purple onion. So any type onion you want to use. I'm going to cook some in here, and then I'm going to chop more for when after it's stewed I add fresh. So you've got the stewed flavor and then the fresh onion flavor. That's just how I like to do it. To that, you know we're going to need some salt, so we're going to add 1 tablespoon of salt. That, remember, that was like 50 tomatoes, so that's pretty good. And cumin. Oh, excuse me. And cumin. That was smoked paprika. Y'all knew that was coming anyway, didn't you? In cumin, I'm going to put a nice generous teaspoon, okay? You see what I mean by generous? And if you like more cumin, you put more. I like to kind of tend to stay where I taste the freshness of this too. Now, smoked paprika, and this is optional. I didn't even know this existed when my boys were little, and I've been making this since my boys were little. So, we're going to put a heaping teaspoon of smoked paprika, because we know that's going to be good, right? And I'm going to put a good bit of ground pepper in here. This is a pepper melange. It's got pink and white and black and green in there. And that's totally up to your taste, okay? You see, I'm going to put plenty. Plenty, plenty, plenty. And then, this sounds like a lot, and when I started making this when I was young, I didn't see this in the stores either, this pre-minced garlic, and I would chop all of that garlic, and I need about a cup of it, so it'd take 2 big old pods of garlic. So this is so fantastic to have. Yes, it is. And so we're going to put a cup of this pre-minced garlic. Man, this is just an awesome, awesome thing to have around these days. All right, buddy, I need one more squeeze out of you. There we go. Now, I've got me right at a cup. Matter of fact, that will finish off this bottle, so let me put that on in there. Now then, You are all fixed up. So that was a full bottle there. I will put that in the recipe. In the description box on YouTube, I sure will. I will put what size that was in the recipe. And now, guys, I'm going to turn this on. Find my spoon. Me rinse my spoon off underneath, y'all. And I am going to let this stir and cook down for about 30 minutes once it comes to a, you know, sort of a rolling little boil, okay? And all that does is just cook out some of the juices, kind of stew down the tomatoes and the onions even more and the garlic, make everything come together. And then we're going to add fresh stuff. This is what I love about this washboard sink. You see that? You can literally just spray it off. Yes, I love it. You know, back in the day, the sinks that were in kitchens and homes were sinks that were useful, right? Because there was a lot of work going on in your house, cooking and canning. And I'm so very thankful to have Mama Walker's sink. Yes, I am. At the end, like I told you, I'm also going to add another Vidalia onion chopped. I'm going to chop it pretty finely, so you'll have the stewed taste and the fresh. I'm also going to add some green onions, probably about a bunch worth, okay? Let me look at my recipe. I wrote this thing down 25 years ago, who knows? You see how old it is and discolored? How much green onion? I have 1 cup or 1 bunch of green onion chopped. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I've got 1 bunch, half a cup to a cup, depends on you. And this is about 2 bunches, but I'm going to chop some cilantro and put in there. And then my jalapenos. I've got 2 large jalapenos that I'm going to chop. And then I'll taste it from there before I put it up. And if I want it to be hotter, I can add more, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. And when I serve this, I wanted to tell y'all, I'll squirt fresh lime right before I serve it. You know, let me cut it in half. If you leave all of the seeds and that vein on the inside, it's going to give off the heat really well, okay? So if you don't want quite so much heat, you can just take out that vein and take out the seeds. You can take out some of the seeds or most of the seeds, however you want to do it. I think I'm going to stay kind of mild in case I share it with my grandyoungins. So I'm going to take out the vein and the seeds. Woo! I can literally taste this jalapeno coming up in my throat. Just in case you've never been with me canning, I want to kind of start back to the basics here. I've got me a stock pot heating up with some water in it, and I'm opening me some jars. These are clean jars. Just make sure they are. And I love these little jars that I find them year after year. It's Stars and Stripe jars. And I don't know if y'all can see that on there. Can you see the Stars and Stripes? I think they're so cute. And this salsa's spicy, you know. So I thought that would be good to put in here. Hot as a firecracker. I put John's pickled jalapenos in there is what I do. But that's another thing I want to talk to you about. When you open this salsa, when you get ready to eat it, you need to refrigerate it. And it'll stay good in your refrigerator somewhere around a week. So if you're not going to eat an entire jar this size, you might do smaller. Or if you want a lot of it, you might do larger jars. Just realize that it's all fresh ingredients, no preservatives. So once you open it and refrigerate it, you need to eat it pretty quickly in the next few days. And let's see, some other things I want to talk to you about is these lids. This is your little lid that's got that little seal right there. This you will use one time. We will seal a jar with it, and then it's going to not be any good anymore when we get through with what we eat in our jar, okay? But now these little twist-ons, you can use these over and over, okay? So I just want to talk about that. Like I say, that's back to the basics, but somebody might never have canned with us, so we want to do the right thing. I don't have to water bath my salsa or pressure can my salsa, because you know tomatoes, they're very acidic. So I never have, but if it make you feel better, once you get all your hot salsa in your hot jars, then what you will do is put it back in the pot, and you can even use that water if you want to, and just make sure it's covered hot over the top, an inch or 2 inches, and then totally let that cool down. I'll show y'all this stewed salsa, what it did in just like 30 minutes, okay? Try not to drop, y'all. Can you see? Let me tilt y'all down. Can you see that rim, how it was more liquid up and it's condensed down? That is it. That's what I'm wanting right there. And that happens in about 30 minutes. Okay, let me get y'all back up there. Y'all hang on. Hang on. Okay. There we go. All right, guys. So into this, I want to add my 1 cup of fresh chopped onion. And I did just turn this fire off, okay? And then we're going to add a generous 1 cup of some fresh green onion chopped. That was like 1 bunch, okay? And then our jalapenos we chopped real finely. And then we'll stick my fingers back in that. There we go. And our fresh cilantro. And our dried cilantro. This is about 1/8 of a cup of dried cilantro, and it tastes totally different than fresh cilantro. Totally. So you might really like this if you don't like cilantro. All right, let me show y'all. It looks so pretty before I stir it. Y'all got to come back. Y'all see it? Looks good, doesn't it? Let's stir. Yum. I'm going to dip us some out and put in a bowl and let it cool down for us to taste. All right, y'all, back to the canning. I found this little set at Walmart years ago, okay? And you're going to need your little canning set, or it's real handy. Back when my boys were little, I didn't have the money to get one, okay? So I made do with whatever. I think I took a plastic funnel and cut some of it out. I, did all sorts of stuff. And I love this scoop. I got it extra. All right. And don't do what I did the first time when I bought one of these sets to get your hot jars out of the water, tongs. Well, I stuck this end down in there, and after a while this plastic came off in my pot with my jars. So make sure you do it this way. Of course, that's just me and my silliness, I guess. All right, guys, so first thing I do is get me a hot jar. And now this is where you need this really so. There we go. I'm going to do a close-up too, okay, y'all? Put that in there. That'll keep your rim really clean. And then you're going to use your scoop of your hot salsa and fill it. Let's get you over here so I won't make as big of a mess. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I get for saying that, isn't it? Alright, y'all. And I want to show you, you're going to need a little head space in here. What I mean by that is between the product that you're putting in there, which is our salsa, and where the lid's going to be on top, you're going to need about 1/2 inch or so it'll have room to seal and then stay sealed, okay? That's what I mean. I've got a dry paper towel. You can use a dry towel. And even though we had that funnel in there, I still go around this edge and make sure it's nice and clean, just like that. And it was. And then this is real handy. It's got a magnet on the end, and that comes in that canning set, okay? And I'm coming back over here at my jars, and I'll go down in there, and it lets me get one of those hot lids and screw tops, okay? Twisty tops. And I put it on there like that. And he is hot. And I'm gonna twist it just tight enough that my fingers do, okay? You don't have to just bear down, because you may make that seal pop back off of there or twist it off of there. So just tight with your fingers. And then I'm going to set it up here to the side. Isn't that beautiful? And wait for the lid to pop and make that gorgeous sound. And we're going to fill up some more. I'm going to get y'all down here real close and let you see the next one. Okay, I got my hot jar out of the water, and you just pour it upside down like that. Let that hot water go back in that pot for you. Put your funnel. Put some of our salsa, that beautiful salsa. Didn't we do good? I thought so too. Oh, it smells so good every time I dip it, y'all. I wish y'all could smell it. You see how I've got a bit of a head space there? That's what I was talking about. And I'm just going to take my dry paper towel and run around just like that. Get my magnet with the lid out of that hot, hot water. And twist this just tight with my fingers, just like that. And then we'll put you over here. All pretty like. And I'm going to keep on. I'll let y'all know how many jars I do. Y'all, look how much salsa that made. We finally got down to the bottom of the pot there. Let's see, it made 2, 4, 6, 8 little pint jars. Aren't these cute? I know. I opened those up. And this is 1.5 pints, I believe, jars. And it made 2, 4, 6 of those. And then I believe this is a 2 pint. So it made a whole lot of salsa. However much all that is added up. But anyway, oh yeah. And it made a little bit extra for us to taste. Yes, it did. And like I was telling y'all, I love to add some lime to mine. A little squeeze of lime. So let's do that and we'll taste it. Just a squeeze of some fresh lime, just like that. Just kind of brightens everything right back up. And I happen to have brought some tortilla chips down here. Just so happen to have, right? Let's give it a taste. Oh, it's good. The 2 jalapenos that I put is not too hot at all. So if you want it spicier, you add a 3rd or a 4th or even more, guys. And I also want to tell you that this is going to taste the best if you let this stay in the jar a week or 2. Okay, it kind of comes together a little more. But this is wonderful right now. It has cilantro and onion and chunks of tomato. Y'all, I have enjoyed so much y'all being in here with me today. Y'all know I'm in the office a lot and doing things that aren't fun, you know, but that's just life. But this is my happy, happy place. And it's where I just come back and get grounded. And I'm loving that y'all are in here with me. So if y'all want to go make this salsa, get after it. And some other things you can do with tomatoes, you could just stew them and have them, just the tomatoes, to put in soups or whatever you want to do with it. Or you could season some with some chili for chili, or some basil and garlic and oregano for spaghetti. So you can just do whatever you want to. You can start with that tomato base that I did, and then you can do what you want to, guys. So anyway, I'll see y'all next time, and I love y'all.